Hey everyone, one second here. All right, I think I fixed it. Is it better? Awesome. I'm gonna try and unmute my speaker. Nope, I can't do that because I'll hear it. I'll hear what's going on. That doesn't work. Anyways, all right, trying a little bit different of a setup here. I have the camera up a little bit so that I can see you a little better, and we'll see if anyone is coming in. I know Mrs. Hartman Maid is watching with me in the other room. So that's awesome. Hold on one second here. Cool. There we go. Looks like it might just be us. But you can hear me, right? It says unmute. Oh, that's the YouTube side. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I got all too much going on here. So, anyways, thanks so much for popping on. If you're popping on, when you're popping on, good to see you. Just getting started here, and it is Wednesday before Easter. So what do we call this? I think we just call this Wednesday. You know how they make things like Palm Sunday and then I don't know, Good Friday, that kind of thing. I don't know what today is called. Wednesday, not Ash Wednesday. I think that already happened. Anyways, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday before Easter, and I hope you're all doing well. This is my first real time coming on here on my new 5 o'clock spot. Um, and I hope that it's going to work for everyone. I know it's decent for me. It's weird because I feel like I should have been live about half hour ago. So it's an adjustment for me, but I'm working on it. Anybody need a Yo Nana's machine? I gotta put that on eBay. Anyways, I'm distracted. I think I have ADD. I'm not sure. I gotta pick this up. I'm playing with that. Like I do get distracted by little things, I think. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Well, actually, it's right here, I guess. But anyways, so yeah, I wanted to get on here once we had a group and talk about, how what you're planning for your Easter meal. Are you planning on eating any differently? What are you going to do to prepare for it? Um, as a kid growing up, and then even as a young adult, I always got Easter baskets. Um, but I don't go home for Easter anymore. Um, we did last year. We went to my folks or my family's place, um, and there was an Easter basket. Every time I go there for Easter, there's an Easter basket. And last year was my, I guess it wasn't really like full on because at that point I hadn't started carnivore. We are like 24 days. No, did I start April 23rd or 29th? Let me look at the calendar. April 23rd. April 23rd is when I started eating carnivore, I believe. Yeah, April 23rd. So we're just like, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 days away from 1 year on carnivore. And so I hadn't quite started eating carnivore yet. So my mom, but at that point I was on insulin. So she knew I couldn't have chocolate or I couldn't have like real chocolate. So she bought me some like sugar-free candies and stuff. And I think I like ate them very fast. And if you know anything about sugar-free candy, it's not a good thing to eat a lot of. Um, if you were looking for a weight loss plan, I would say get you a bunch of sugar-free chocolate and then eat it all, and you will quickly lose a lot of something. Um, and so I was trying to be smart and go easy on that stuff, but um, let's be real, you don't get to be as big as I was or am without having an unhealthy relationship with food. And so I have no self control. So I ate all of that chocolate in a pretty quick fashion. Having an iced coffee. It's 5:06 p.m. and I'm having a bulletproof iced coffee. Did I need it? No, but I'm like hungry. I'm like ready to eat something. And so rather than just think about eating the wrong things or whatever, I figured I'd just make a nice coffee. And I also have electrolyte water. So we'll do that. We'll drink, and then we'll have something to eat later. Um, but anyways, so I had an Easter basket last year. I'm not going home for Easter this year, I don't think. Um, so probably not going to have an Easter basket this year. Although, if anybody does want to send me Lily's chocolate for Easter, just go ahead and send me an email here, heartmanmade@gmail.com. I'll give you my shipping information. More than welcome to send the Easter bunny with Lily's chocolate my way. Although I firmly believe Easter is about the Lamb of God, Jesus Christ, and not the bunny. But I will take Lily's chocolate from the Easter bunny. Just saying. Um, so that said, I don't really think I'm going to have an issue with eating the wrong foods. Um, I have a couple of ideas of maybe some recipes I want to try um, to make a side dish or something like that. We are not, and so I don't know if we firmly have our plans in place, anyways. Like we have an idea of what the plans are, but like we haven't gotten an invite or anything like that. So maybe it's just me and Mrs. Hartman made here at the house, eating together. Get a couple of ham steaks or something. Anyways, um, I wanted to talk though about what were your plans for eating. Are you gonna go crazy? Are you gonna get into the Easter basket because it's the only time of year? Um, I remember we had someone in here a few weeks back, and they were saying, that they were eating bad because there was, still Valentine's candy in the house or something like that. I think that might have been it, or birthday stuff. And so, you got to get rid of it. So, my thoughts are just give it away. The Amazon guy probably comes to your house. If he comes as often as he comes to mine, just put it out in a box and say, "Hey, thanks for the trip. Take a treat." Get rid of the bad stuff. You don't have to eat it just because it's in the house. That's just my thoughts. But some people take a different view at it, and that's okay. It's okay to have a different thought process, and maybe your choice is to just get it. Excuse me, get it out of your system and have it, and if that's what you're going to do, like you're making your choices and you're dealing with your results of that choice. I don't even want to say consequences because it's not always negative, right? Just like I am going to make my choices, I'm going to deal with the results of my choices. And so, some are you maybe you're that person that's like, you know what, Easter just comes once a year, and if someone's going to give me some peanut butter eggs, I'm going to eat the peanut butter eggs. Um, oh, I used to love those Cadbury cream eggs. Oh yeah. So I've seen the joke, and you've probably seen it before. He said I ate a dozen eggs today because that was on plan. It didn't say whether or not what type of eggs. So all we had in the house were Reese's eggs. So I ate a dozen eggs today. Um, Maybe not on my plan, might be on your plan. But I can tell you there have been plenty of times in my life where I have likely eaten a dozen Reese's eggs. Um, like I said, you don't get as big as I was and even am without an unhealthy relationship with food. I absolutely had the mindset of just eat the stuff so we get it out of the house. But the problem is I would just go get more. I loved the Monday after Easter because the grocery stores put all of that stuff on clearance. I loved the day after Halloween Every year, the grocery stores put that stuff on clearance. I love the day after Christmas, and you get to figure out when Target marks it from 75, from 20% off or 25% off to 75% off, and you end up getting a bunch of stuff you definitely don't need. Um, but anyways, um, gonna talk, I guess, about kind of my thoughts on an Easter dinner. And so some people say, well, I do dirty keto, or well, I diet but I take a break during the holidays. And I can understand that thought process. I can. I did not go on a diet 100% because I really cared about losing weight, because honestly, I'm going to be totally honest with you all. I didn't really think I could lose weight. I didn't really think I could significantly change my size. I'm very honest with you. I have struggled with my weight the majority of my life. So losing 7 pounds was beyond me, let alone 70 pounds. I think the sun is coming out, which is nice. I see that back there. We just had some crazy rainstorms. I'm going to kill this light and see if, yeah, because it seems kind of bright behind me. Um, but so I didn't go on this journey honestly to start losing weight. I went on it because I had to fix my blood sugar. I know plenty of old fat people. Okay, so I was thinking in my head, okay, if I can be a healthy fat person, I'll be okay. But I got to pay attention to my blood sugar. Therefore, I have to pay attention to what's going inside of my food, and I still have to. Um, and couple that with exercise, and our bodies are so crazy. It's like things that work for a while, they stop working after at some point, or they require more effort in different places, and you're constantly having to tune the dials to figure out my blood work numbers, they're all still okay, but one number is moving in the wrong direction, and it's like I didn't change a whole lot, other than I probably eat too much Lily's chocolate at times. I've eaten condiments that are not on plan. Um, I I can't say that I've really cheated. I mean, other than I did cheat yesterday. For the first time. So Heather and I were talking. I've eaten like 3 slices of pizza in the last year. Actually, now it's 4 because I had 2 slices yesterday of pizza. All right, confess your faults one to another. It wasn't delicious, but it wasn't awful. Um, and I consciously made that choice. I don't think it had the same effect on me that it would have 6 months ago. Um, but I need to. I'm deciding I need to get back to the intensity that I had 6 months ago. Here we go. There's my girl. I didn't even see that, babe. It's a problem with eating differently on holidays. It can and usually does derail you from sticking to your eating plan. Too many temptations if the family's not on board. You're not wrong, for sure. If you are not someone of strong willpower, and it helps if you're not alone. Um, like she's saying, the family on board. It is so easy to just say it's a holiday, and here's the choices, and you make those choices. But anyways, like I was saying though, is I need to get back to the intensity I had 6 months ago so that I can get the results I had 6 months ago. Um, I'm so happy to report that since Sunday morning, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no, Wednesday, yeah, 4 days in a row, Mrs. Hartman Maid and I have both gotten up in the morning and gone to the gym 4 days in a row. The reality is, the last time we went 4 days in a row, because she got hurt for a while and was totally, like, really unable to work out, a good portion of her body. Um, and so that laid her up. But and then I got the winter, and then I got taking care of Spike, and then I got you had holidays in there, and like 4 days in a row just hasn't happened for me for a long time. When I get back in the mode and I go, and it's like I'll go 1, 2, 3 days, sometimes 1 day, 2 days, and then I'll start again next week because I'm going to sleep in. But I have been pushing hard recently to get back to the same intensity that I had 6 months ago. Um, so that I'm waking up and I hit snooze at least once, getting back at the gym as much as possible again. Yeah, I have issues with doing it early. I know she does. And I feel so bad because she struggles to sleep at night. And I have to go early in the morning just because everything else in life. And I also know this, if I don't go in the morning, I can't say, um, I can't say I'll go tonight because I won't. By the time I'm done working and I do not have a physical job, I sit here. Okay. I talk on the phone. Um, I use my mind a lot and a lot of different other ways of communication. But by the end of the day, I'm tired, like mentally exhausted. And so I am much more apt to make an excuse not to go later in the day. I prefer to go with Adam though, so I go when he goes. And I appreciate that she goes when I go. It helps me. Um, it's so important, guys, the benefit of having a gym buddy, someone to go with you, even if you're in different places in the gym, the fact that you get that camaraderie, you go together. I got to wake up because if I don't wake up, that person's counting on me. I'm going to miss. It's just that whole fueling off of each other. So much value there. And so that is a huge blessing for me. We are definitely a team. Um, and I'm excited about that she gets up and goes with me. But yeah, so missing out on that, I've decided I'll snooze my alarm once and sometimes twice. By the second time I snooze it, that's when I roll over towards Mrs. Hartman Maid, give her a kiss, let her know I love her, and then I like warm up to the you're gonna go to the gym with me, and by then we're both kind of coming to and waking up, and we just been getting up and going. It is my goal to continue this stretch through the rest of the week here. Likely going to try and go on Saturday and Sunday still. Now, Saturday, I'm supposed to take my nephew to the movies for his birthday. So I'll have to get up early to do the gym. Um, and Sundays it's okay though. I think we have one church service this week because it's Easter. So, but like this past Sunday we went to the gym and then we went to the early church service. So we were done with church, and then we ended up talking to a friend of ours who's struggling with his health and was asking us questions. And I got to check in with him because he said he was going to start eating the carnivore diet this week. Just want to check in and ask him how he's doing. Encourage him to keep going because he's tried low carb before and he usually doesn't feel well. And so, we're encouraging him if that's what you're going to do. And because he asked us different questions and said about, how, you know, it would help his body and stuff. And so he's definitely identified that eating carnivore is really going to be the thing for him. He's just got to push through it. So I got to reach out to him to support him and see how he's doing. But we talked to him for about a half hour, and then we went to a public market, got some meat and some cheese, then went to our normal grocery store, Trader Joe's, got our bacon, got our heavy cream ready for the week. We went and got something to eat after that. Oh, we went to Mission Barbecue. Love me some cheddar jalapeno smoked sausage. Love it. Is that perfect for me to eat? Probably not. It's probably dirty keto, right? Um, but it's better than me going and getting biscuits and gravy somewhere or, you know, making a poor choice. I don't feel like that's Mission Barbecue is a bad choice. And this is where we're getting at when we're talking about the menu for Easter is we got to decide what is going to be the best choice we can make that we're still going to enjoy. It is a holiday. We like to enjoy things at holidays, and so you know, we don't want to eat ice cubes and celery sticks and power through the holiday dinner, right? You just don't want to do that. You don't want to deprive yourself, and so really just preparing yourself to make good choices that are going to support your personal goals. Not I can't have that, right? There have been so many times that I have gone to a holiday in this past year, and I'll say I can't eat that. I can't eat that. No, I can eat that. I really can, right? It's just as easy as me picking this up and consuming it, right? I'm fully capable of eating that. However, I make choices in my life that would not support me eating that. And so you have to put yourself in a place where you have choices that are going to satisfy you, that are going to please you, that are going to be enjoyable, so that you're not saying, "Oh, I'm sitting here with everybody else and I just can't eat anything." No, prepare. If you're eating at home and you have family that eats differently than you, have different choices. We've had a holiday here at the house where we've had family here, and I made them mashed potatoes. I made them mac and cheese, right? Things that I choose not to eat, and I never chose to eat mashed potatoes, by the way. But I always would make them, and I don't make it like if I touch this, I'm gonna get a blister or something. No, you want something, I'll put some on your plate, right? Fine. And I don't even bring it up, the fact that I'm not eating that. Sometimes other people will, and they're either ignorant, right? They just don't know. And I don't mean ignorant in a rude way. Or they're just chiding you a little bit. Um, and just go with it. No, I figured I'd save some for you, chubby. Say whatever you gotta say. But but um but I always have food that I can eat on the table when I'm preparing. When I'm making the meal. This, where everyone eats what for Easter? Most people eat ham. My mother-in-law and father-in-law said they were making the ham. My mother-in-law has said she's not eating sugar, and so this was her choice. It's something she's working on, and so I said, hey, just wondering, when you're preparing the ham for Easter, are you going to use a glaze? Because most glazes, a lot of times she just uses that packet that they give you. um, I'm like, that's full of sugar, and so I'm just wondering, hey, are you going to still continue with your plan and not eat sugar? Are you going to use a glaze, or are you going to make some? Because I'm more than happy to help you with coming up with a glaze that'll work. You can make a glaze for a ham, and I have, that is keto friendly or even carnivore friendly. um, and so I was just wondering about that. But as you're preparing your ham or going somewhere, is a little glaze on the ham? Mrs. Hartman made said, just peel the outside off. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. It cooks into it. And she's like, I know. But is that a big thing for you, right? Is that a big deal? Is a little bit of glaze on the ham, when you're going to eat the rest of your meal, right? Is that good enough? There's Susie Woozy. Welcome in. Or is it something you're willing to compromise, or is it, nope. I personally don't want glaze on my ham if it's made with sugar. It's not supporting my choices. I eat ham every day almost for breakfast. So like if I can't have that for dinner, if I'm going to someone's house, I'll be okay. But a lot of times, okay, so if you're, and this is kind of where we're getting at, Silver Wheels Patriot, hey, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you stopping by. Good to see you here. I'm going to jump to the YouTube side because I'm going to guess, yep, you're not blue. Let's do that. There we go. We'll fix that for you. Um, Susie says, "Hey everyone." Um, for me, a lot of times I feel like if you're eating good the majority of your time, right? If it's your normal plan to eat right, and you're doing that, you're staying within the boundaries you've set for yourself, then going to someone's house and having something that doesn't fit exactly in your box is not going to hurt you. Unless you're on carnivore and you eat totally off, well, guess what? You're gonna gain a couple pounds tomorrow. I made a pork shoulder ham without the pink and glaze. Okay. Um, I gonna take another drink of this bulletproof iced coffee, cold brew, delicious. Um, I have gone over to a family's house. Hershey's saying hello to somebody walking by, and I've had so I had one of my cousins passed away last year, way too young. Um, and after a few months after he passed, his dad lives in another state. His dad came back, and we had a get together, and they had it catered at a restaurant, and they had barbecued chicken, they had hamburgers, and they had Zwaggles pop open hot dogs. Zwaggles is a Rochester hot dog company. Um, and so, and then they had potatoes. They had Italian sausage with peppers and onions. They had picnic food. Um, you know, the buns and the stuff were on the side. And my uncle and aunt both were aware of you know how I'm trying to eat, and you know they were saying you know we tried to plan this hoping there was some stuff you could eat up there, and I'm like I can eat anything. And I had barbecue chicken, guys. The barbecue sauce likely had sugar in it, but it wasn't going to kill me because I was eating right all the time. The Swaggles hot dogs, which I absolutely love, and again have an unhealthy relationship with food, so I need to be careful around those things. They have a little sugar in them. But I wasn't eating buns. I wasn't eating sugar-filled ketchup, um, peppers and onions with the Italian sausage. I don't eat vegetables. I'm on carnivore. I ate them that day. Peppers and onions, Italian sausage. That's like peanut butter and jelly. Like they go together. It's supposed to be like that. And I did okay. It didn't hurt me. Um, and so you know, going into the meal, I think I'm kind of like all over the place, but um, it's that ADD thing I was telling you about. Butterfly. Um, how'd you get in here? Um, Going into the meal and making the best choices with what's in front of you if you don't have control is great. And you don't have to be that person that, you know, announces to everyone at the table that, you know, well, I'm not eating that. You know, I have some family members who will remain nameless that you know, trying to lose weight and eating right. And then you know, we go to a birthday party or something, and if there's salad, pizza, and wings, they're gonna eat pizza and wings, and not touch the salad. And I'm not gonna touch the salad either, but I'm gonna try and eat those wings. And if there's a little bit of buffalo sauce on it, well, a little buffalo sauce probably has very little sugar in it, and that's gonna support my goals. Um, I'm not gonna eat pizza, and I'm also not gonna slap somebody else's hand if they choose to eat pizza. Um, so you don't have to be that person at the family get together, but just go with a plan. That's my encouragement to you. Go with a plan. Um, and you know, offer to bring something. That's another thing. It's like rather than get to their house and either A eat bad because there's no good choices, or B sit there and sulk because there's no good choices, offer to bring something and bring something that's good for you. So several times we've had holidays and we've gone somewhere. I've brought shrimp and cocktail sauce. Mrs. Hartman Mate's talking in the other room. Are those the snappy hot dogs? They do. The skins, they pop open. Susie, they are so freaking good. Red ones and white ones, I like them both. Yes. traditional buffalo is hot sauce and butter. Exactly. No sugar. Frank's Red Hot, totally acceptable. Butter, totally acceptable. I'm all in. Um, but so one thing I've done, like I was saying, is when I go to these holidays get-togethers, I go buy a bag of cooked shrimp, um, and I buy a jar of cocktail sauce, zesty cocktail sauce that just has horseradish and whatever. And then sometimes I just buy horseradish and some Primal Kitchen ketchup, and I make my own. Yes, they do have them at Wegmans, Susie. You have to try them. Oh my gosh, you have to. I encourage you, try them. If you were to come to my house, we would eat a Swaggles hot dog together. I love it. I think you'd like them. The white ones are really good. It's kind of a different, but for me, you gotta cook them good. Like they gotta have brown, like brown them up, put some color on them puppies. Um, you're in Jersey, right? Have you ever been to Rutt's Hut? Rutt's Hut. Um, I went there. It's in East Rutherford near the Giant Stadium. Um, and I will try them. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rutt's Hut. I've gotten hot dogs over there. Yes. I'll broil them. Is exactly. That's great. Rutt's Hut. I've tried the Weller where they deep fry that hot dog. Not really my cup of tea. But I figured I'd try it because I was there. Um, and hot dogs are my favorite fruit. I've always said that. So I really have not met a hot dog I haven't liked. Silver Wheels in Texas. Okay. Okay. I don't know what would be comparable to that. It's a regional thing. I'm getting all kinds of messages popping up here. The hot dogs are a regional thing, but like I said, I make my own cocktail sauce, and I bring shrimp, and because that's something I can have. And so when everyone else is eating cheese and crackers and chips and dip, I'm not complaining that there's no choices for me because I can eat cheese, and they most likely have salami or some sort of smoked meat. And I'm not asking, is there any sugar in this? I used to. I did because I was chasing that number because my pancreas wasn't functioning and I had to get to a better place of health. Now I'm there. So now I'm not going to eat a whole pack of that meat. So, I'm just going to grab some cheese and I'm going to grab that meat. It's going to be okay. It fits in my box. But I could always have, shrimp and cocktail sauce. Let's see here. They deep fry over here. It's so odd. Yes. I moved 22 miles from New York and the food is so different. Okay. Nolan Ryan has his own hot dogs. All right. I did try hot dogs in Mexico, and the brand was FUD. Food is the way it's pronounced. But when I read it, it said FUD. And I was like, these are not FUD. They're not food. But I for the most part, I really haven't met a hot dog I don't like. So I bring shrimp. Sometimes I'll make an appetizer. One thing I really love that fits into my plan. Uh, yeah, not good. One thing I really love that I can make that's easy. And I choose to eat it with pork rinds because I don't eat tortilla chips. Um, is a dip that my sister-in-law made. I think it was for our bridal shower when we first got married. That might have been the first time I had it. But it was absolutely delicious and it's a fan favorite. And it is cream cheese, sausage like Jimmy Dean or Bob Evans, or I use Jones All Natural. That's my choice. But like a pork sausage that you brown up, cream cheese, and a couple jars or cans of tomatoes and green chilies, Rotel. And so you mix all that up and put it in the crock pot. It is delicious. And I when everyone else was getting their food, I think this might have been Christmas Eve or something like that. We had prime rib and everything like that. And so I had my shrimp and I had prime rib, and everyone's getting their mashed potatoes and their beans and their corn and all this. And I don't want that. But I want a little extra on my plate. So, I just grabbed a couple scoops of the sausage dip, and I'm good, right? A fat guy's always going to find something to eat. And I'm just working to find the best something to eat that's going to meet my goals. Rotel. Yes, that was the word. And there's a couple different kinds of rotel. There's like smoked or fire roasted rotel. That one's really good. I buy Wegmans. We have that here too, but we use Velveeta. Yes, and I've had that. Growing up, I did not like vegetables. I especially tomatoes. I hated tomatoes. I still don't really like tomatoes. I wouldn't eat them on a sandwich or something. But I remember going to like a football game or something at a friend's house, and the queso dip was delicious. I'm like, how did you make this? And the lady's like, I just use Velveeta and Rotel. And I'm like, what's Rotel? And then I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, who eats this stuff? I do with Velveeta sauce. Yeah, it's delicious. But I found that recipe with the cream cheese and the brown sausage and the Rotel. It's amazing. And I just go get a bag of pork rinds, with some pink Himalayan salt on that. Guys, that's game food for me. That's a good appetizer for a family get together. And so, guess what I bought when I went to the grocery store the other day? I bought a tube, frozen tube thing of Jones all natural pork sausage. I grabbed a can of diced tomatoes and green chilies from Wegmans, and some cream cheese. I'm ready to go. If you add chopped cilantro, onions, and lemon, it tastes like salsa. Is that for Rotel? That would make sense. It sounds like that's what it'd be. I personally don't like cilantro. Just never did, and I don't like raw onions. I was made to be a carnivore. I was a carnivore before I knew it was a thing. I just ate a lot of other crap. But once I realized, like my doctor, he said, when he was talking to me, what do you want? You want me to tell you what to do, or you want advice? I said, I want you to tell me what to do. And he asked me, could you handle eating ribeye, bacon, and eggs every day? I'm like, absolutely. But how's that going to help me? Like going carnivore was not hard for me, as hard as I thought it would be. Because one thing my wife has been for years trying to tell me, stop eating bread. You need to stop eating bread. It's not good for you. And I was like, Heather, I'm not going to stop eating bread. Like I loved to go to the grocery store and get some freaking thick sliced bologna and a loaf of Italian bread, like bread bag, and I mean, not like from the bakery, like the soft Italian bread with the seeds on top. I love to go, and I would like if I'm going hunting, because I haven't been hunting since the year before I met, or the year I met Heather. I haven't been hunting since. Number one, because I don't like the cold. Number two, because well, we just don't need to kill things, unless you try and threaten my wife. But I would go hunting. I'd get a couple pounds of bologna and a couple loaves of that bread, and I'm good. I love sandwiches. I love sandwiches. Um, but all right, so we got sister makes a pot every crop pot every holiday. We got the porcelain princess. Hey, and Patriot. Hello. Yeah. So I love sandwiches. I love grilled cheese sandwiches, cheese toasties. Right. I love all that stuff. And so for me, I would always say, Mrs. Hartman, made. I'm not going to stop eating bread. That was going to be the only barrier for me going on this carnivore diet. But when you stop focusing on what you can't eat or what you're not eating, you start focusing on the things that do support. And so I've also had to learn to change the words that I use, the vocabulary, things that are supporting my choices, that are helping me reach my goals. You're not restricted really, because you can eat all this stuff, right? All of this fits in the rules. So just pick from that list. And it's been okay. Mm, love seedy bread. Yeah, I love the bread with the sesame seeds on it. Yeah. It's been a long time since I have had that though, and honestly, I haven't missed it that I think of. So I mean, I do okay with those choices, and so I'm gonna. That's what I was getting at. Come back to right here. Look up recipes that are creative, that are different, that are out of the box. The first Thanksgiving I was carnivore, I found a way to make stuffing, cornbread stuffing, essentially cornbread stuffing with sausage in it, carnivore, and I made it. It was the best. It was amazing. It tastes just like cornbread stuffing, but it wasn't. It was meat. It was carnivore. It was delicious. Um, it took a lot longer to make, but I looked for a creative recipe that supported my goals. And so I sent Mrs. Hartman made a recipe the other day, and it was deep fried deviled eggs. Deep fried deviled eggs. And I said, I need to keto-fy or carnivore-fy that recipe because I like deviled eggs, but imagine taking that white part of that egg and putting some sort of crusty batter over it, or batter that would crust up, deep fry that in some beef tallow, and then put that egg, the yellow mix, the yolk mix inside of that. The crunch, the salt, the tang, the mustard, the pickle, all of that. Guys, that sounds amazing. And then I just found that there is a company, it's called Carnivore Crisps. I follow them. They have a new product out that's basically called carnivore flour, and it's ground up meat. Essentially, you can get chicken, beef, or beef and beef organ, which organ meats are so good for you. I'm just not going to eat liver, or kidney, or any heart, any of that. I'm just not going to fry it up and eat it, but I would eat it decimated or whatever. And so you can use that. So put that egg white part from that hard boiled egg in an egg wash, and then roll it in that flour and deep fry it. And it's going to taste just like a battered, deep fried whatever. And so I'm like, yeah, where can I get some of that stuff between now and Sunday? Because I am down for that. That sounds amazing. And guys, if I do make that, I'll make a quick video. I try to do that. It's funny because I go in some of these channels, and some of the silver people, they'll I'll come on their channel, and maybe I'll be a new name to them, and they'll be like, who's this Adam Hartman made guy? And they don't know that my channel started out as I was a woodworker, and Hartman made, right, man made, but Hartman made, but then I evolved that into made equals making a difference every day. And so they don't know me, and then they go and they look at my channel and they see I got a bunch of videos and I got some subscribers, and they're like, oh man, you got a lot of food videos. Oh, you're gonna kill me, this you're gonna make me hungry. And I just realized I have a lot of food videos, but I like to. Guys, if you haven't checked it out, I did go through and step by step that keto, not, it wasn't even keto, it was carnivore creme brulee. Yeah, buddy, you got to try that one. I think you'll like it. She says, Silver Wheel says, now I have to go cook. Almost 5 here. Okay, it is almost 6 here. You're in Texas, though. You're an hour behind us. So yeah, I do try to, as I make a new recipe, if I try something, I do try to make a video of it. One thing I tried, and so guys, that's what I'm getting at. You can get creative and you can eat really good within your your desired food plan, and it can be different. There you go. Get that food on the table. Happy husband, right? Um, my wife is waiting for me to probably finish before I make dinner. That's what I do. But really, that's what helped her. She was not necessarily on board with this thing in the beginning, but she wanted to, and she saw my results, and she's basically said, she didn't really love to eat meat much. She would, if she had choices, she would have meat, but just not a lot of it. And it certainly wasn't going to be her only food source. But she said to me, "You're just going to have to cook the food and put it out." And that's what I would do. I would just go make food and set it on the table and say, "Dinner's ready. If you want it, come get it." And that's helped her. Sometimes when you do egg white, then ground pork rinds, then fry, it makes a crust you can freeze wetter items to fry. Okay, yeah. Um, and so you can get creative. You can look at, what recipe eats within my plans. Now, I went to school for 2 years to be a cook. I love cooking. At one point, I wanted to own my own restaurant. I wanted to be a chef. Then when I was in school, I did a co-op and I worked in a restaurant. I was working all the time, and I was like, that that chef, like, he could hardly walk by the end of the night. He's been here for 14 hours. I do not want that life. So I decided very early on I was not going to go further on to be a chef because I love cooking, but I don't want to do it for 14 hours a day. Roman, good to see you, my man. Thanks for stopping in. Um, but I a lot of times don't use a recipe. So I was trying to come up with something different, and I haven't had Chinese food in a year at least. And so I'm like, I love the Chinese flavor though. And so I had some bone-in chicken thighs, bone-in skin on chicken thighs, and I'm like, what can I do with these? And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some liquid aminos. I'm gonna get some ginger juice, and I'm gonna put some garlic, and I'm gonna whisk it up. I'm gonna marinate it, and then I air fried it. Guys, it was amazing. It was delicious. Another thing, I love Chick-fil-A. My wife does not like Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. Um, and so I over the years have found some copycat like Chick-fil-A nugget recipes. And so I know marinating chicken breast in pickle juice, you know, does good. And so I'm like, I gotta come. I got a bunch of chicken. I got it on special today because that's how we get a lot of our meat. When we're buying extra meat, we always go to the grocery store. We walk past the meat section and we look for what's on sale by today or reduced for quick sale because we can bring it home. We can put in the food saver, and vacuum pack it, put it in the freezer. You save a lot of money that way. And so I gotten a bunch of chicken breast cutlets. They were 6 ounce pieces of chicken breast, and so I had just gone through. So I'm a carnivore. I eat meat, eggs, and cheese. Really, that's what I eat. But I do eat pickles, dill pickles. There's no sugar in them. It's a low carb food. So I just about finished a jar of pickles, and I had that much pickle juice, and so I put 4 of those chicken breasts in that jar and shut it up. It filled up, and I put it in the fridge to marinate for a day or two. You know, and I took those out, and then I was like, all right, so now what am I going to do with these? Because my original plan was to make like that copycat Chick-fil-A nugget thing. Well, Bob's Redmond has a gluten-free baking flour, which using the right amount of it is actually keto. It doesn't have enough net carbs um, to be, you know, to put you out of ketosis. And so I was like, all right. So I took some of that gluten-free Bob's Redmond gluten-free baking powder or baking flour, and I put some Cajun seasoning and some cayenne pepper, and I shook those chicken breasts in there. I fried them in MCT oil, and guys, they were banging. Keto meal did not hurt my weight loss goals, did not step outside of my boundaries. So, as we're planning what our holiday meal is, as we're trying to decide, are we going somewhere? Are we eating at home? Get creative. Find things that work for you that you can eat that supports your goals and try something different. The key or the carnivore stuffing that I made was amazing, but my wife was like, you can't just like make it for the first time and bring it for the holiday. What if it's awful? And so I was like, all right, fine. I'll make it a time before. Give it a trial run, right? And so maybe you got to make a trial run. You got to try it before the get together. But get creative. Go online, Google. One thing I really like is I'll go get a bag of pork rinds and I'll crush them up, uh, like for breadcrumbs, and then I'll get shredded Parmesan cheese and mix the breadcrumbs and the Parmesan cheese, some salt, some pepper, some garlic in a bag, and then I'll take chicken breast tenders, essentially take a chicken breast, cut it in strips, and I'll rinse it through egg wash. I'll toss those in that breadcrumb mix, and then I'll pan fry them in a little bit of butter. And that cheese melts down and crisps up. And guys, that's delicious. These are things that support my weight loss goals. These are things that live inside of the the eating plan that I've created for myself. And it's just, it's not ground, oh, go make a pound of ground beef and put some butter on it and that's all I can have. No, you can eat good, you can get creative and still fit inside of your box. And so that's what I'm encouraging you guys to do when we're saying what's for dinner, Easter edition. Come up with something crazy, come up with something creative, come up with something tasty, and have fun with it. We eat for necessity, but we also eat for pleasure. I mean, guys, if you're on a weight loss if you're on a weight loss journey like I am, you eat for pleasure. And you probably have done it for a while. So make something you can enjoy. What I would love for you all to do is in the comments of this video, go ahead and comment a recipe you're going to try. Comment maybe later after the holiday, come back and put one you did try. Give us some instructions, encourage us to try it. Do me a favor, if it's awful, don't share it. But if it's a keeper, right? Share it. Let's enjoy. Let's learn from each other. Let's enjoy. You know, um, let's support each other. Let's help each other out. Um, I don't know if you like iced coffee. Um, I really can't help you out with this one because so I love Bulletproof. If you go in the description of this video, I have a link tree and I have a link for Bulletproof. It's an affiliate link. You can go on that link and it helps me out. But you can use while you're checking out, you can use the code Adam20 Adam20 and save 20% off of your order. Bulletproof used to make a cold brew in a can. Amazing. I don't know why they stopped selling it, but they did. Right before they stopped selling it, I bought a ton, and so mine actually the Best By date is like a couple months ago, but I still have a bunch of it, and it tastes fine. But I use that one can of that, and then I have in the link of my description also there's one for Element. If you use my link and it's your first order, you're going to get a free sample pack. And it helps me out. I don't earn any money from that or anything, but I do get a free box of Element. And so I got a box of chocolate Element. Some people use it for hot cocoa. But we mix it up. We keep a gallon in the fridge and we put it in our coffee. Um, and then I got some Bulletproof hazelnut creamer in here, which has MCT oil and stuff like that. And put a little splash of baking soda to neutralize the acid. Put the frother in there. It's amazing. It's really good. This has become my dessert. When I'm craving something sweet, when I'm craving a dessert, I make an iced coffee. I'm gonna have to figure out a different source of the cold brew, but I got plenty of Bulletproof coffee I've bought and earned that I can just cold brew myself. But yeah, find something you enjoy. Instead of getting an ice cream, I make a cold brew. And guys, I could this one can of that cold brew has the same amount of caffeine as 2 cups of coffee. And so if you're sensitive to caffeine, you got to be careful when you're drinking it. When I just drank this now, I could drink another one before I go to bed, or before it's time to go to bed, and I'll fall asleep in 5 minutes. It just doesn't affect me like that. I made pork shoulder Puerto Rican style, no sugar, basically garlic, oregano, sazon, um, salt, pepper, and roast till the skin is crispy. So good. I love me some roast pork. Um, I like to use it in my smoker. Um, and I haven't had my smoker out, so I made a pulled pork the other day, a pork shoulder, and I made my own barbecue sauce to go with it. Um, and we had that. The problem is it's just Heather and I, and Heather is not a huge pork fan, so we have pork for days. um, but the dogs, our dogs are carnivores too. They get more real food, meat, than they do kibble because A, they prefer it, B, it's better for them, and C, it's definitely cost effective. you know, when I go to the grocery store, I always look for like the thinner steaks and stuff like that are marked for quick sale. Um, that I wouldn't eat, even if I wouldn't eat it. But if it's like $4 for a big pack of it, I'll buy it and I cut it up and cook it for the dogs. My dogs love me. Um, it's just what works for me. Anyways, I have talked for a long time. I have really enjoyed your company. I appreciate that you take time out of your day to come and dish with me, talk with me, interact with me. You're really showing support with me. Um, I'm getting ready to land the plane here, so um, I again just want to thank you all for that. Do me a favor, if you're gonna make something creative, something within your eating plan that's different or whatnot, comment in the video so that I can come back to it and I can try it maybe if it meets mine. I give the dogs raw meat now mixed with kibble. Yeah, I bet they were. Um, that's sometimes what we do too. But anyways, share your creation, share what you're going to do. I'd love to know how your holiday goes. I'm looking forward to catching up with you all um, next Wednesday after the holiday, see how you're doing. By the grace of God, I will continue on my plan to get in the gym every single day. I'm trying to get a hold of the same intensity I had before. Excuse me, because when I had that intensity, I saw great results. We're getting into the nicer weather. I can get out on the bicycle and just start living, guys. Start living. I'm not ready to stop living. That's what I decided a long time ago, and I just want to keep living. Um, make the most out of your life today as you can. Do something nice for somebody else. Bless somebody, but most of all, be made, making a difference every day. I love you guys. Thanks for stopping by.